Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and my first video in front of the camera. My name is Brittany and I decided to do for my first video in front of the camera, just you and me, do a little chit chat, get ready with me so you can get to know me a little bit better, get to know my personality, a few things about me. If you would like to see how I got this makeup look, go ahead and keep on watching. Alright, I'm going to start by priming my lids. I'm going to be using the, if it would focus, I'm going to be using the Milani eyeshadow primer. It's my favorite go-to eyeshadow primer, and I wanted to start by doing a chit chat get ready with me because I figured you guys kind of wanted to know a little bit about me and who you're going to be subscribing to. So, my name is Brittany. And I actually am not a professional makeup artist or anything like that. I'm actually a teacher. I work with pre-K kids, which if you don't know is about the ages of 4 and 5. And that's what I do for a full-time job. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is just use a face powder to set my lids before I go in with eyeshadow. I usually will use like a big fluffy brush like this to do so. Right now I'm just using this little Urban Decay. I have basically like nothing left of it, so I figured that the only way I can really use it and get all of it out is on my eyes. Alright, so now I'm going to use my Yes Please palette from ColourPop. This is what the inside of it looks like. I thought it was a really pretty fall eyeshadow palette. And I'm going to use a big fluffy brush from Wet n Wild. And I'm going to pick up this shade right here. If you can see it up there. And I'm just going to buff that all into my crease. So, I actually am pretty new to makeup. I am definitely no expert. I just really enjoy it. I've actually only been doing my makeup for about 2 years. I honestly never used makeup. So if I were to like go travel back in time and tell myself like 3 years ago about what I'm doing right now, she would not believe me. I also am a pretty big nerd. I am a geek. I really like comic books, superheroes. I really like Doctor Who. I love Harry Potter. That is my favorite book series of all times. And if you wanted to know, I am a Hufflepuff. Let's see. Next, I'm going to use another brush, another little blending brush. This is from It Cosmetics. I believe it's completely rubbed off now, but I'm pretty sure it's from It Cosmetics. And I'm going to go in with this orange shade right here. Ooh, way too much on my brush. So yeah, up until a few years ago, I didn't really care about my makeup or anything like that because honestly, it wasn't really a top priority for me. I cared a lot more about, you know, going to comic book conventions and things like that, which I still do enjoy going to comic book conventions. But actually, as funny as it is, I started really getting into makeup because my skin got really bad. I have a lot of like acne scars, which I never had before. And so it kind of made me feel really insecure about myself. So I decided that I would start trying to figure out a foundation or something like that to put on my skin so that every day I wouldn't feel so self-conscious. And then that ended up turning into a really big love of mine is, you know, finding foundations, finding eyeshadows, all that kind of stuff. So my skin problems ended up making me find one of my favorite things to do. So next I'm going to use this color right here. I'm not really sure like which ones correspond to these ones. I've tried to figure it out, but so I'm just gonna say this color right here. You know. So yeah, I also am married. I've been married for about 1.5 years now. My husband is the greatest. I do not have any kids or anything like that. It's just me and him right now. Maybe that'll change pretty soon, but you never know. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a smaller brush, and I'm going to use this darkest shade in the palette. Just kind of deepen up the outer corner. Now this is obviously not like a full-on makeup tutorial. I just kind of want to do for my first video, just kind of talk and do what I normally do with my eyes. I'm not trying to do anything crazy or, you know, shockingly beautiful. Again, I'm not like a makeup artist, so I don't really think of myself as like amazing with my makeup. I just really enjoy my makeup. I really enjoy doing it, and I kind of wanted to use this channel as an outlet to talk about makeup and to discuss with other people who aren't necessarily makeup artists but really enjoy makeup. So because I am a pre-K teacher, most days I don't wear a ton of makeup. Actually, a lot of days, now that I've gotten kind of more comfortable with the way my skin looks, I actually don't necessarily wear makeup every day at work, especially because I work with little kids and they touch your face and stuff. Like, sometimes I don't want like to have a big old face mark on my skin because of the foundation coming off because they touched my face. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that happens. So I don't necessarily wear makeup every single day, but on the weekends I go hard. I will spend like an hour on my makeup and I really don't care. It's fun. Okay, so now on a flat shader brush. This is a Wet n Wild brush. I really like Wet n Wild eyeshadow brushes and just Wet n Wild brushes in general. So I would definitely check them out for brushes because they're pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna use this little gold shade here. Pack it all over my lid. I really actually have been doing this eyeshadow look a lot lately because, I don't know, kind of reminds me of fall and kind of like a sunset, but a really easy sunset. For the past year, I've actually been really wanting to get into YouTube videos, but I never thought that I was good enough. I was never confident enough in what I was doing, and I decided, you know what, it doesn't matter because it's just fun. So I'm going to be using my ColourPop brow pencil. I use it in the shade Blonde. I actually really like this brow pencil, but it is kind of hard. Like, I'm used to like softer, but I actually kind of like it because I kind of go really hard on my eyebrows, and then, you know, like some of the eyebrow pencil kind of crumbles out, which is not a cute look. So yeah, I actually like it. It's not my favorite, but it's a pretty good eyebrow pencil. So I'm just gonna fill in my brows. Sorry, can't really see me when I go down that low, can you? Also, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm really quirky. I'm a little bit weird, and I'm okay with that. Hope you are too. I just kind of wanted to show you my true self because who wants to see a robot version of somebody on YouTube? It's no fun. So, yeah, just figured I'd be myself right from the get-go. And yeah, I'm looking down into a mirror. That's why I'm like, I keep going like this. Sorry, I apologize. But, you know, this is my first video in front of the camera, so I don't really know where I'm supposed to be putting my mirrors and things like that. You guys are gonna have to bear with me for the next few videos as I just kind of start figuring it out. But, you know, you live and you learn, right? So we'll see how this one works out, see if you guys even like this kind of stuff, and go from there. So let's do the other side. Man, this is gonna take me a million years because I just keep talking and I'm not getting anywhere with my makeup. Okay. Also, let me be honest with you guys. It is currently about 8 o'clock at night. I just got in my camera that I'm using in the mail at like 5 o'clock. And I got so excited that I had to film a video immediately, which is fine and all, but yeah, I'm gonna literally put this makeup on and then take it off. Oh well. Okay, so now that I've filled in my brows, I am going to prime my face. So I have combination skin, so I actually tend to use 2 different face primers. So the first one I'm going to be using is my Smashbox Photo Finish, which I really actually love this for filling in my pores. And I also use it to help with oil control. So I get oily in my T-zone. So I'm going to put this just in my T-zone. Well, actually, it's funny. It's not really my T-zone. I call it my lowercase T-zone because I pretty much just get oily in my cheeks, my nose, my chin, and then just like a little bit here. I don't actually get oily like on my forehead, so I call it like my lowercase T. Let me know if any of you guys have that problem too. Because everyone's like, oh, it's my T-zone, so I'm thinking like this, my forehead and down my chin and nose, but it's actually my cheeks. Anyway, and then for the parts of my face that are not oily and are actually dry, I like to use the Angel Veil primer by NYX. It's a really good primer for dry skin because it's a little bit moisturizing. So let's put this all over the rest of my face. So I put this on my forehead and the bottom of my cheeks. And I actually put it right here because I don't know if you can tell, I have really dry skin under my nose. Like really dry skin, and it's been like that basically my entire life. Like I literally see pictures of myself from when I was like 10 and I had that problem. So I don't know. I try to use lotion every night that's like really moisturizing in that area. It doesn't do anything. So for foundation today, I'm going to be using my NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat foundation. And this is one of my favorite foundations because it's matte, but it has like a little bit of luminosity, or just it looks like your skin. It doesn't look like just this matte, stark thing. So I really like it. So I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand and put some all over my face. All over the face. Looking cute with my dots all over my face. And I like to put some down my neck too because as you can see, my neck is really pale. Okay, and then I'm going to use my Flower Beauty sponge, which is my favorite sponge. I actually just discovered it recently. I'm going to use it to buff in my foundation. But yeah, I kept hearing about it, and I went to my local Walmart several times and I could never find it. And finally, last time I went, I found it and I was so excited. So it's literally softer than the Beauty Blender, which is crazy because the Beauty Blender is so super soft, and I kept trying to find good dupes for it, but because I am cruelty-free, or I only use cruelty-free products, it's kind of hard to find because everybody talks about how great the L'Oreal sponge is, and I had tried it and I actually really liked it, but unfortunately I can't use it now. So speaking of cruelty-free, I only use products that do not test on animals, and for those of you who use products that are cruelty-free and not cruelty-free, don't worry, I'm not going to be one of those people that only talk about, you know, how cruelty-free is better, blah, 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 blah. That's just my personal preference. You just won't see any products on this channel that test on animals, but I'm not gonna just keep shoving it in your face. I'm not gonna constantly be talking about cruelty-free products. I'm just gonna talk about the products that I like. They just happen to not test on animals. So I'm gonna quickly use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. And you guys already know what that looks like, but I figured I would show you anyway. So I'm just going to put this under my eyes. I'm actually running out. I have a backup already. That's how ridiculous I am. Just gonna apply this under my eyes, on my chin, on my nose. Oh, it's really running out. Oh, so sad. And just a little bit on my forehead. And again, I'm going to use my Flower Beauty sponge to blend it out. So besides makeup, I really enjoy reading. But I feel like I'm basically like a small child because I still read books that are like the young adult books. And I'm 26 years old. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but yeah, and a lot of people make fun of me for it, but hey, you like what you like. All right, so now I'm going to use my Too Faced Peach Perfect Setting Powder. This is fantastic. Oh my goodness, if you have oily skin, you need this in your life. So I'm gonna use this to set the areas of my face that I just concealed. And I'm gonna use my Flower Beauty sponge again to just pick up that product. This even tastes like peaches and cream. Okay, so I'm gonna let this bake. And while I do that, I'm going to use my NYX No Filter Finishing Powder. And that's what this little beauty looks like. It's actually really full coverage for a face powder. So I'm going to put that all over the rest of my face. Because I have oily skin, I like to use kind of a denser brush to apply my powder. Because if not, I end up getting a little bit oily. And I know if you have dry skin, this is a bad idea. You're gonna look really cakey, but if you have oily skin, it actually looks pretty nice. So I'm just gonna press that powder into my face instead of just like, you know, swirling it around. And I also noticed that when I press it in, it doesn't disturb the foundation. And if I use swirling motions, I notice that my foundation sometimes can get disturbed, so I don't really want that. Now again, while my face is still baking, I'm going to bronze up the skin. And I'm gonna use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer to do that. Trying to bring some color back to my skin because I am very pale. And in case you guys wanted to know how pale I am, pretty much in every foundation that I own, I am the lightest shade. Don't look so ghost-like. I also like to put it on my chin a little bit because I have a pretty prominent chin, and then underneath. So I noticed that if I put a little bit of bronzer on my chin, it doesn't stand out so much because it doesn't look like so stark. And now let me just use a little powder brush to remove that bake. Okay. Now, I'm going to use blush, obviously. So I'm going to use my Tarte blush in the shade Captivating. Here's what that looks like. It's a really pretty peachy pink shade. So I'm going to put that all over my cheeks. You like my fish face? Told you guys, I'm a little weird. I'm sorry. I'm not really that sorry, but I'm sorry. Next, I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Mineral Glow Pearls Highlighter. It's kind of a long name, but that's what it looks like. It's a really pretty pink highlighter, and it looks kind of glittery in the pan, but it's actually really not on the cheeks. It's really, really pretty. I love it. And this is new. They came out with this one because apparently the old formula, there's just like a top layer of highlight and then the rest was like this weird powdery stuff. So they reformulated it. I didn't have the original one, so I have no idea if it's actually any better or not, but I like it. And I'm gonna use this Wet n Wild brush. It came in the like unicorn collection. Super cute. I'm going to use that to apply it. Ooh, do you see that glow? Like, look at that. So pretty. Especially for like a drugstore highlighter. I think this was like $8. Something like that. So pretty. And just so you know, I like to use a mix of high-end and drugstore product. But if you guys want to see a tutorial with just high-end or just drugstore, just let me know. Honestly, any feedback would be helpful because I'm new to this. Obviously, I've watched about 100 YouTube videos, but I've never actually done it myself, so I don't know. Okay, so Next, I'm going to go back in with my Yes Please palette and put some stuff underneath the eyes. So I'm going to use this little Eco Tools brush, and I'm going to pick up this little brown shade and buff it underneath my eyes. Alright, so this is the Tarte's mascara, and this is what I'm going to be using on my eyelashes. Alright. And a tip that I have learned for making sure that your mascara doesn't like touch and mess up your eyeshadow is to look down at your mirror, like I am right now, and then go through, because then more space between the eyelash and your eyelid or your crease, all that area. So that's what I've learned through lots of trial and error. Sorry, I apparently cannot do my mascara and talk at the same time. It is a very stressful time in my life. Next, I'm going to use my NYX brow mascara to just, you know, comb through my brows. So now I'm going to go back in with this Physicians Formula highlighter to put into my inner corner. And I'm going to use a tiny little brush like this. And then I'm going to use the other side of that brush to use this little shade here and put that under my brow bone, because I forgot to do that. Just trying to highlight that brow bone a little, but I don't want to use a highlighter because it's a little too much. Okay, we are almost done. I'm going to use my Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Spray to set all this makeup, and then we'll go in with lip product. So I also like to use my beauty sponge to kind of press in that setting spray. It just kind of makes it look more matte and less dewy. And then, last but not least, I'm going to use my Too Faced Melted Matte Lipstick in the shade Sellout. And that's what she looks like. Isn't she pretty? Figured it would be a good shade to go with my whole sunset look. Alright, that is it for this video. I'm hoping that I put all of the correct steps in this video. I don't know. I was really nervous, so could have screwed a few things up. I apologize if I did. I also apologize if I sound super awkward. That's kind of how I am, and it's kind of the nerves. It's a little nice combination of both. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you liked my quirky, weird self, and if you liked watching this chit chat get ready with me. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Seriously, I appreciate it so much. You guys have no idea. And I hope you guys have a great day or night. Bye!